Alright, let's clear out of here and give the Empire space to show up so they can burn things down in our absence. Come on, everybody out. We've got shit to do.
But if they burn it down in our absence, then if everybody clears out, there won't be any sad casualties. And then how will we trigger some sort of grief into superpowers then?
We take some of the kids with us. Everyone else stays back. Tragic war kids, it's a classic. Can't go wrong.
Anyway, we are going to get the briefest of looks at our next dungeon before we head back to town. We did say we were just coming to have a quick look.
I feel like we're still delaying the inevitable. Okay, so we are now acknowledging the idea of that there are unique cards.
Yes. See, this is not just any blank Magnus. This is a Magna Mixer. It does exactly what you think it does.
I mean, yeah, that sounds dangerous. Having two fundamental essences in one card, that is hot nonsense. That's exactly the kind of bold mechanical development that I expect in a sequel.
See, now we can discover we can really start engaging in some fucked up science, such as what happens when we forcibly combine the essence of an apple with the essence of magnets. Or, yesterday's gossip.
Man, I can't wait to find out how disappointing this is going to be. Like, JRPGs in 2006 simply did not have the capacity to deliver on a promise like that. They just didn't. It's not gonna happen. It can't happen. They were foolish to try, but I respect them for trying all the same.
I mean, for all of its faults, I think the first game did do that pretty well with the sheer number of stuff that would just change over time. Even though a lot of it was, like, all of the food would eventually just rot into the same thing, but, like, the fact that so much of it changed, I feel like this game gets higher marks than most that attempt this sort of gambit.
I mean, it's all very organic, but like, you gotta wonder, was it worth it?
Soggy! 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 Oh, it's awful!
What is it, Wacho? Keep it down.
But there's a monster! A humongous one in the lake! Right, Teak?
Haven't we heard about this already?
A humongous monster one!
Or was it only rumours and now it's actually
Didn't
happening?
come back from the lake! Right, Teak? Yeah, I gobbled them! That's why they're not back!
I don't like the sound of this.
Wacho, why don't you start at the beginning?
Okay, well, Teak and I went out to pick some cotton-cap fruit. And so yeah, we had all this fruit, right? And we were talking about how Soggy would go wild over all the fruit we had.
I feel like we've gotten sidetracked.
Yeah, all this fruit.
Are you suggesting that an 8-year-old child is having some difficulty getting to the
I asked
point?
you about the monster.
I mean, I don't understand why we're requesting details in the first place. Like, I'm pretty sure the point of this is been firmly established.
And that's when he came flying
Like, I
out
feel
of
like
the
we've
water.
started with the $1 million question,
Right, Teak?
and it has been answered.
Ah, so what you're saying is this is Gilo's fault for asking for details.
I swear. With long,
Pretty
gangly
much.
claws, kind of grayish, and had these beady, glowing eyes.
Soggy!
I know. That sounds just like the thing that attacked us in the Emperor's residence. These monsters...
Shall we take a look, Sagi?
I kind of would like to know what those creatures really are.
I mean, all this to build up to us deciding to do the thing that we were kind of looking to do in the first place.
We can't just leave them.
You do realize I'll be going with you. I don't know what this monster business is about, but it sounds like fun.
Did you just say fun? Are you some sort of half-wit?
If this creature's anything like the last one, it's gonna be strong. Let's make sure we're ready for it.
Okay, for real this time. Let's go on a tactical excursion out of town and create an opening. Come on guys, you're killing me here. I want blood.
But we can't leave yet. We have to get some fruit. They picked so much of it, it would be rude of us not to.
I mean, apparently there's a lot of it where we're going.
God, it's like you weren't even listening, Fadul. They said they picked all of it.
They picked it, but they were able to transmute its fundamental essence and give it to us? Whatever.
Anyway, obviously, a lake that has a giant monster in it is a perfect place for these children to come play with us.
We're so good at this.
Down there.
That's the same thing we saw at Olgin's place, no mistake.
Yeah.
Why is that
Sagi,
facial
Are
expression?
you alright? You buckled over the moment you set eyes on that thing. You're sweating a lot, too.
I mean, admittedly, he does have some history, which is not really great
I'll be
with these
fine.
things, so...
Just got a little dizzy, that's all. Let's go after it.
See, now we could go after it, but first we need to make a little pit stop down at the bottom of these stairs.
Oh good, a mechanism. Also, is that a body?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'm sure they're just fine floating there in the water with the giant Malpersio monster.
Yeah, getting a telltale signs of a water level puzzle incoming.
So, in the last game, aside from like the desert, where we had to navigate it with, you know, so much with like a limited amount of water, that game really didn't do things, like too many things with the whole concept of having stuff. This game is much more active in terms of your quest magnus, like, actually doing things. So, in this case, these photosynth lilies that we just picked up allow us to breathe underwater. Like, that is an actual thing that they do.
Uh-huh.
And other magnus, which don't necessarily have, like, as direct of a mechanical thing, give you passive bonuses. So, like, those magnet waves that we've been carrying around for a while, they actually reduce our chance of being shocked from an enemy attack.
I mean, that's neat, but also I can see how this can quickly get out of hand. I mean, are we taught any of this at any point?
This is your tutorial, in terms of, like, hey, your Magnus, like, actually do things.
Because, like, I'm all for, like, mechanically complicated games with a lot of moving parts, with, like, a lot of organic interactions between things that, like, just position your weird gameplay stuff in a narrative context and then, like, feed it back into the gameplay. That stuff's good. That stuff's very good. It's just that you gotta make players okay with it. And most importantly of all, you gotta not make your inventory into an interface for a puzzle. Just getting that one out the way. Go on.
Yeah, the other thing is that, like, this stuff is explicitly said. Like, if you were to check your items in your inventory, it would flat out tell you that, like, it'll give you, like, all the flavor text for, like, the magnet waves, and then it'll be, like, and also it increases your shock resistance. So, like, it's not there.
Well, that's something. Listen to me talk about stuff for long enough, eventually you will hear one of my mantras: games should explain things. Like, there should not be doubt about how mechanics in a game work. Unless it's very deliberately intended to be a thing that's a mystery, like, you can do that. You can have stuff that's mysterious and oblique. You can, you can play the Dark Souls game. That's a dangerous game, but you can play it if you know what you're doing. But on the whole, it is almost always bad if there's ever any confusion about what a thing in a game does. So yeah, mechanical interactions, good. Just do them right.
A predictable win.
Anyway, we kind of talked all over that encounter, but the only thing that's really notable is that the big crab guys are really only notable because they have a shit ton of HP and do a lot of damage. And the little, like, 2D snail thing, that's a healer. So,
Kill the doctor. Got it. So I guess we've got underwater breathing, but no real swimming then.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
Using our good old wings underwater, that's how that works.
Look, they made one jumping animation, alright? Then, by God, they're sticking to it.
Like, are we on an actual timer? Like, do the lilies run out?
Yes, we are on an actual timer. You can tell by how many bubbles are coming out of Soggy.
There was a very ominous heartbeat sound as well. Was that part of it?
Yes, yeah. When you're in the low oxygen state, like I said, he keels over. You get a lot more bubbles, and the heartbeat starts.
See, do you know what I think? I think the Genesis Sonic the Hedgehog drowning music should be released into the public domain, and it should become the universal signifier for you are about to drown in any video game, in any context. Forever. It's in the collective consciousness. This has already technically happened. Just put a bow on it and make it official. Just acknowledge it. The writing's on the wall. Everyone will know what it means. But until then, I guess we can just do this cowardly heartbeat sound and bubble signifier stuff. That works, I guess. I'm guessing that if our stuff is, like, actually doing passive things and being consumed, that we're also, like, expected to be restocking and maintaining and otherwise, managing our inventory during the course of a dungeon.
Wow, it's almost like you've played one of these games before.
Right? I mean, some of the stuff that we're doing has been done by enough games that it's become a thing that we know how to do, but every now and then something really dangerous happens and a game comes along and pioneers something. And I don't have, like, a fully encyclopedic knowledge of the total development of mechanical dungeon stuff in JRPGs over the course of the 2000s, so, like, I couldn't tell you for certain if this is one of the earliest games to do this kind of a thing. at this kind of a scale.
Anyway, the game throws us for a loop here in that this mysterious crate will take our lilies. But we have to give them 2 in order to get a reward.
And the reward is money?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But yeah, that is very easy to miss because, like, they'll take the first one and then you'll just kind of be like, that's it? And then... But you have to give them 2 in order to get the reward.
So we've got a one. Is that another body? Okay. Fine, whatever.
They did say that a lot of the villagers had gone missing here.
But like, I figure this should be getting commented on. This seems, like, notable. I feel like this would not pass unremarked upon. Oh well. So anyway, I'm guessing that this is a relatively straightforward introduction to our puzzle inventory concept. So we're gonna have the one place at the start where we just... are you okay? Have you been down here this whole time?
Nah, see, he's fine. We gave him a lily. He can breathe again.
You just been hanging out down here. Just sitting there on that crate, not gonna climb up the pile of crates get to the ladder? No? Okay.
So this guy is also on an oxygen timer, if that wasn't obvious, so we do need to push this wall before he drowns.
It kind of was not obvious because he's been down here this whole time. Is he just not start drowning until we show up?
That is correct.
Okay. I was just checking. I was just checking that I was understanding the situation correctly.
That man was perfectly fine until Sagi appeared on screen, and then only then did he realize he could not breathe.
Good job, Sagi. So anyway, I was saying this seems like a relatively sane and straightforward introduction to the puzzle dungeon inventory concept, with a single source of the thing that we need and a couple places where we need the thing. But the rub with an idea like this is always how weird they want to get with it.
Through a careful examination, we have discovered the secret of this crate.
That it has wheels. I struggle to understand the significance of this, but whatever. Maybe there's a slot to put a crate just off screen, just behind that pillar.
There is, in fact. It's just not off screen in that way.
I mean, off screen in the sense that it's behind an object that's in the foreground that Sagi can see and we can't because video games. I don't like it. I have an instinctive dislike reaction to that kind of stuff in games. Oh well. I see we're going to play with the dead bodies.
Oh, don't worry, it's fine. I'm sure these kids have seen worse.
I mean, they're about to see worse, but I don't think any of them know that.
There are people here. These must be some of the missing villagers.
Finally, we've noticed.
Oh, thank goodness. They're just passed out.
Anyway, this whole room has been underwater for hours.
Don't worry about it. They're fine. They're fine.
And like, very, very deep underwater. The pressure would be enormous. It would be crushing.
Don't worry about that. Right now we have bigger problems. We gotta fight the thing first.
I mean, that is fair. Oh, really? Thank you for the tactical commentary, Gilo. Well, okay.
Are you ready for that boss fight we had last time? But this time it's water themed.
I mean, ready is a strong word, but I guess there's an interpretation of that that's true.
This is bound to hurt.
Is that really it? That's the synopsis?
Yes and no. Its numbers are bigger, and because it's water elemental, its attacks will freeze you. So, like, there is a genuine threat of getting fucked by status, but yeah, by and large, that's the gist of it.
I feel like in some parallel universe I've opined at length about how important it is for games with elemental stuff to have, like, elemental character for all the different elements. Having an associated status effect is one pretty good way to do that, but in a turn-based RPG there's only so much that you can manage. I vaguely remember there's like classic Final Fantasy, well, I mean, like PlayStation era Final Fantasy had this had a thing going on where certain magical attacks, as well as being elemental, there was a cheap and weak one, and a middling one, and a expensive and powerful one. And I think Fire Emblem kind of does the same, but with like all the weapons. So as well as having an elemental affiliation, there's always like, hey, this guy's using lances, that means you can expect this kind of a vibe with the numbers generally. Like a mechanical character. That stuff's, like, fairly subtle, but it goes a long way. So, you know, all of which to say I can see how the same boss again, but with water, is a very short sentence that possibly can say a lot.
Shame on me.
Of course, when I say it hits harder, I do mean it hits quite a lot harder.
I mean, I've come to expect a certain extent of not fucking around from bosses in this game, in this series at this point. There's very much been a, like, hey, sit up and pay fucking attention factor to these things.
I mean, I still think my favorite strategy that we ever did was the time I set myself on fire on purpose to short-circuit a boss's gimmick.
AI nonsense. AI nonsense is never not satisfying to pull off. In any series, in any game, in any genre that has AI, fucking with the AI is always good. No exceptions.
Anyway, it was, yeah, it was pretty good that we won that fight when we did, because I don't think we're going to be getting my revive item anytime soon, and I think Millie was almost dead as well.
This could get ugly. Let's retreat to the village for now. Gilo, take Millie and go. I'll buy you some time.
It seems like the kind of thing that should have been like a classic unwinnable boss fight, but instead they made it into a fight that you have to win and then you lose, and that always sucks. Well, whatever.
I feel like that's a thing that Falcom, of all people, solved pretty nicely towards the end of the Cold Steel series, where if you did have a boss that you were supposed to lose to, or in this case, a fight that you have to win but you will lose, they'll just explicitly tell you, hey, okay, here is their entire health bar, but you win when you reduce their HP to like 70%.
Not bad, Dingbat. And here
It's
I thought
good.
you were just a can
Games should explain things.
Hey, Gilo, are you listening?
At least mechanical things. The plot, it's okay to let that spin for a while.
Oh, it's you.
Kilo, you are acting weird. You don't remember anything this time either?
Alas,
This time I remember it all. I think I may have been made for the sole purpose of killing these things.
I mean, you haven't been doing a
What
great
does
job
that
of that
mean?
as of late.
Why would someone make you just for killing?
Pretty sure that
You
we
were
haven't
buried in the
really done
ground.
much of anything to actually kill these guys.
I mean, maybe he's
We
just
can talk
figuring it
about this
out.
more once we get back to Sheraton. Let's look a little further before we go. We might find some more missing villagers.
Ah, right, yes. Getting back to the village, yes. Let's do this. I'm so ready.